Welcome back to Part-Time Bodybuilder. This is your host, Holly Jeans. I am joined today by the power couple, that is Hannah and Kenny. So thanks for joining me, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
They are online coaches. They've got their own coaching business. They are both competitors. And now they have just started work on opening their own gym as well. So I'm super excited to find out a bit more about their journey, how they set up their business, and then obviously the gym, and also what it's like to be a bodybuilding couple as well. So this will be interesting. First time I've had two people on. Be good? So how are you guys?
We're good, yeah, we're really excited.
Awesome, thanks for having us on.
My pleasure. So I think we should start at the beginning about how you guys actually met.
Oh God.
Oh.
Curveball.
Basically, we live in like the middle of nowhere, so we're the only two people that really compete. And when like Kenny started competing before me, and I thought he was like a celebrity. So because obviously when you first start competing, like you just see someone on stage and you're like, oh my God, I'd love to do that. Like, so he was like my male idol because there was no females to idolize me. So that's kind of, and then we just started speaking about it. And when I started like training for the competition, we just kind of spoke. And then a couple of years later, he like kept replying to my stories, and then kind of went from there.
So I just creeped in.
Slowly creeped in, slid into the DMs.
Yeah, that's it.
No.
But yeah, like Hannah says, we don't live in the middle of nowhere. We live in the north of Scotland, up in Inverness.
Right at the top.
Right at the top. So we're miles away from anything. But it is very, very small. The bodybuilding community up here, it literally doesn't exist. The closest one for us would be Glasgow, which is like 3.5 hour drive. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we're pretty much on our own up here with it. So I had done a competition. It was at like an expo. It was a Scottish expo. And I was on stage and I came dead last in men's physique. And it was with the UKBFF. And came off stage. I was in a really bad mood. And Hannah was there. And she came up to me and I was speaking to her. And I think at the time I was in such a bad mood, but I was just so happy that somebody had come up to me and says, well done. And when she told me that she was from Inverness as well and that she was going to compete, I thought that was brilliant. So I kind of started following her journey, and I was really impressed because obviously Hannah was like the first girl that I had came across that was so passionate about bodybuilding. And I was watching her stories, and at first I wasn't creeping. At first, I was just really, really impressed with how she was applying herself to things. And I was noticing that she was like making a lot of the same mistakes that I had made when, you know, I was first started out doing it. So we started speaking, and then I watched her show, and then I think it was a couple of weeks after your show we got together, wasn't it? Like about 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So yeah, that's when I started getting creepy.
Once you'd seen her in a sparkling bikini.
Yeah, that was it.
So when was that? What year did you guys meet?
2017.
Yeah, 2017.
So this is our third year together. We just had our 3rd year anniversary last Saturday.
Yeah, because last year's anniversary we were 2 weeks out from a show, so we're like, right, we'll go to a hotel. We felt like shit. Like It was just. And then we went to like an amusement like park thing and went around the arcades because we couldn't do anything else.
So we had like a teenagers date night because we couldn't drink, we couldn't eat, and we were just
pushed the boat out with a Diet Coke.
Yeah. I don't even think I was allowed a Diet Coke. That's what I was just about to say. I was like sweetener banned by then. So I was like, shit, there's nothing. Sit with the water.
So this year we thought, right, we'll do it properly. We'll go out for a nice meal, and we'll get a nice hotel. So it felt good to be a normal person for the night.
Yeah, especially after like lockdown. It was like the first weekend up here where like restaurants were open and stuff. So it was good.
But yeah, you know, as well, we like having the business as well. that was the first night off that we have had in how many months?
Oh, like, well, Christmas Day was our last full day off, so
Yeah.
we stopped working at like 6 o'clock. So that's like a big deal for us. So it was good.
Yeah, it's really hard to switch off, isn't it? When you've got people on your WhatsApp or whatever,
Yeah.
it's
I
not
think on
something
like
you can just turn off.
Yeah.
Exactly. You can't give people hours for your coaching. You know, it
Mhm.
literally is 24/7. So
Mhm.
it's like when we were out last Saturday night, we were talking about it, and it's almost like having a baby. You know, you've got to be there 24/7 for
It
it.
even cries in the middle of the night.
Yeah, exactly. I'll get up in the morning and I'll look in WhatsApp and I'll see that Hannah has been up and replied to like clients at 3 in the morning. I think, wow, I can't do that. I just don't wake up. But yeah, she's up middle of the night still replying to people.
The way I see it, like if I can't get back to sleep, I'm like, I might as well just work. Probably isn't good. I really hope Kuba's not listening.
I was going to say, well, this is a blooper.
Yeah, that's what happens.
So how did you start competing then, Kenny? If there's not kind of community around there, what made you decide to compete?
Well, I was in a really, really bad relationship beforehand. So I was in that sort of mindset of I really enjoyed training. I used to be a footballer, so I used to play football. And when I'd stopped playing football, I thought I'm going to actually try and, get a little bit bigger. I enjoyed going to the gym, and it was just a hobby at the time. But then when I was in this relationship, I was trying everything I could to stay at the house. I just didn't want to go home. So I was doing like 4 or 5 hour long training sessions. I was hanging out with my friends at the gym, and it was just that way where I was getting up in the morning thinking, right, can't wait to get work done, get to the gym, get a bit of time for myself. And that's when I'll see people that I enjoy being around. And I'd done that for about 2 or 3 years, to be honest. And the more that I was doing that, I obviously started to take a bit of shape, and people started saying to me, why don't you compete? You basically live here in the gym. So, you may as well just get into competing. And I'd never seen a bodybuilding show in my life. And Inverness had done the very first ever bodybuilding show. And I went to it and I was watching it and I thought, I want to do it. I need to do it. And I like having something to work towards. So I've always been quite disciplined with my own training and stuff. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to go for this. And I decided that I wanted to do it up against more people. So I decided that for my first competition, I would take it to Glasgow because it is a little bit bigger down there. It was with the UKUP. So it was a slightly bigger federation than the one that happens in Inverness. So having that goal to work towards, I thought, yeah, going to go for it. So I kind of got into competing because, I kind of needed that release for myself, and I needed to find something that was just for me that I could concentrate on.
How about you, Hannah? How did you get into it?
So I was really fat as a kid, like really overweight. My nickname was Hannah Boom Boom. So kind of like
mine was Stig at the Dump, so
that makes me feel a little bit better, to be fair. But no, I was just like really overweight in school and I hated it and got badly bullied. So ended up having like the opposite effect. And when I was 13, I was anorexic. So went through that, and then like although I was like physically better, like healthy weight, then like well, I actually got like overweight again, to be fair. But like the mental aspect wasn't fixed. Like it was still took over my life, like worrying about how I looked all the time and always thinking like how can I lose weight, like just everything was just about how fat I was all I thought about, and ruined like friendships and everything like that because it was like controlling my mind. So when I heard of like competing and stuff, I was like, that's my biggest fear, like see anybody seeing me in less than like big baggy hoodies and like loads of pairs of jeans and stuff. Like I used to wear like 10 layers to try and like, I don't know what I was thinking because that probably makes you look bigger, but yeah, so I was just like trying to, and then I said to myself, if I can like stand on stage in a bikini, I can like do anything in my life, because that's like my biggest fear. So that's how it started. And then I actually fell in love with like the process of it. And like obviously the feeling you get on stage is just unreal. So that's kind of where it started. And I was like, I actually really want to do this properly, because like it was just a kind of, I did the Little Inverness show because it was just to get out of that fear of like letting the way my body looked control me. Do you know what I mean? So when I did that, I was like, oh my god, I actually love this. Like it was amazing. And then obviously the competing just kind of masked the mental side of the eating disorder. Like it was still there at the start. But then, like I said, my Amelia Thompson, my old coach, my first coach, was like really helpful after the show, like with like relationship with food and intuitive eating and stuff like that. So that helped the mental side of it a lot. But yeah, that's how it started for me.
I think it is such a great way to build confidence.
Yeah,
because you start to trust in your own abilities through the process, because you build trust through keeping promises to yourself. So you promise you're going to do the prep, you finish it, you get on stage, you realise you're not going to fall over in your heels, or you're not going to hit this wrong, and then it kind of, it's little building blocks that then come from that.
You just like realise like what you can actually do as well, and like how strong you actually are, rather than letting like something like a mental illness or something like in your head take over you.
I think you sort of grow as a person when you do these sort of things, because you know, all through school and stuff, I was never very like out there. I would always just kind of be happy to get on with it, never wanted to be centre of attention or anything. And I think a lot of people get the wrong idea when they look at bodybuilders, bikini girls. They always think, oh, they want attention, they want to be in the spotlight, but it's nothing like that at all. For me, it was basically stepping out in my comfort zone and doing something that I never ever thought that I would do, because it was so far from the type of person that I was. So it was just really good to sort of grow as a person in that way and become more confident.
Yeah, I mean, I did it because I loved training and I like a goal, and the body that comes with it's kind of a byproduct. The thing that I take most from it is every other aspect, which
just
people
like the
don't
cherry on
see.
top, isn't it? Like the actual show day isn't the main part. It's just what people see, but that's like, it's the actual process that is why you do it.
It's the struggle that you have to go through, and then knowing that you can come through the other end of that, you know, is massive for you, because it's a bit like a metaphor for life, really, because you know you're always going to go through your life and you're going to have struggles and things, but you know they do make you stronger as a person, and that's what a prep is like. So I think getting that sort of sense of achievement when you do get on stage and you've had all those shitty days where you're starving and you're doing your cardio and you sort of question why you're doing it, it all makes it worth it the minute that you do get on the stage.
The shitty days are almost my favourite. I know I sound like a right sadistic person.
I'm the same.
But I'm like, yeah, I made it. I did it. Another day boxed off.
And then like those days make the good days feel like you appreciate them so much more, like the days where you feel energized and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I always think the shit days make the biggest difference. I know for me, if I have a really bad day, I'll wake up and then my weight's dropped or I look better, or so I'm always like, bad day leads to a better one.
Yeah, definitely.
And then there's some days though that your head takes over, and when you're having a shitty day and you look in the mirror and you think, I'm suffering and I still look like shit. So that's where, you know, we're quite lucky to have each other, because especially for me, when I'm looking in the mirror and all I see is a skinny guy staring back at me, Hannah will be like that to me, get a fucking grip. Do you know what I mean? You're meant to struggle here, get a grip and get on with it, you look good. And you know, that's priceless, having somebody there to give you that little bit of peace of mind.
I think mastering your mindset is the hardest thing about this sport.
Yeah, for sure. Even in like life, like when Kenny starts, like if there's one little negative thing, like especially with Kenny, I know everyone's probably the same, but it's like a domino effect. So I need to be there to be like, stop right now before everything turns to shit in the day.
And that's even in a normal day.
Yeah, like if he's on prep and he doesn't like his check-in and that's at the start of the day, like it will be hard to kind of get him back to normal mood like all day, so it's good to have each other, because I'm the same. Like if I'm trying to diet and I go on the scales in the morning, or like I don't like my pictures, I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna be in a bad mood all day now.
You start stewing on it, don't you? And then all day it's like you start thinking about it, like, why is that like that? Or
yeah.
And then like that's with my clients, with our when our clients are checking in now, I'm always saying like, take your pictures before you step on the scales, because if you go on the scales first and then they're not what you want, you'll start seeing your pictures, like you'll start looking for all the shit things and the things you don't like. So it's really important to do like your pictures and sort of make your decision on what you think of your body first before you go on the scales. Do you know what I mean?
I'm awful at doing that. I get too excited. I just jump straight on the scales.
I know.
I'm like, what if I check in and then that has an effect for my weight?
I actually think like that too sometimes.
Scared to move in case you start holding water.
Yeah.
I know.
And literally the first thing I do is jump on the scales and I'm like, right, okay, I'm happy now.
Yeah.
Because if I go back like 10 minutes later, normally it's gone up.
Really?
Wow.
Not by much, it's like 0.2 or something, but it has moved.
The longer I leave it, like if I like wake up in the morning and I'm like, you know, when you feel bloated, I'm like, I'm just gonna lie here for like half an hour, and then like if I go weigh myself, I will have lost like a pound just from a little bit extra time in bed. Because
I'm in off season, I'm trying to get to my heaviest point, so I will weigh myself before I do the toilet and be like, yes, do the toilet, I've lost about 3 pounds.
It's so hard to get in that mindset of like gaining. I really struggled with that in off season. I was like, they just keep going up. What point are they going to level out?
I know.
So what shows have you? Oh, sorry. You go.
I was going to say, I think like having a coach that doesn't make you feel like the scales are super important.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have in your head like it's just a tiny little part of the puzzle, then you don't get as hung up on like the gaining or the losing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's more about what you look like than what the scales say. So what shows have you done since that first one in 2017? Have you always prepped together since then?
Since then we have, yeah.
Well, when we first actually started going out, Kenny was actually on prep and I was on off season, and it was probably the hardest part of our whole relationship because it was just a nightmare. Like,
because after Hannah had done that show when we got together, I still had a show to do in the June. So I'd done that show and I actually won for the men's physique and got invited to the British finals, which was then in October. So this is a time scale between June and October. So I had a couple of weeks where I could relax, sort of take a bit of a diet break, like a tiny mini off season, and because I could still get leaner for the finals. And then I think I still had to prep all the way up to the October. So that was the only time since we've been together and we've been out of sync.
Yeah, because like after that, like that was just so tough because we didn't, obviously you're at that start of your relationship, you don't really know each other 100%, and it was just, we just clashed so much.
And I was trying to prep myself, so I had no clue what I was doing. It was so embarrassing when I look back on it. I was doing like 2 hours cardio a day, grumpy as hell, and I'm just glad that she stuck about because it would have been a disaster.
But after that, we were like, right, we need to do shows together because, like you say, it's a time thing as well. Like, it can be really straining on our relationship. Like, if one person's having to do like cardio steps, like can't go out for dinner, and you're like in full blown off season, like I want to go out for pizza, and you know what I mean. It can be tough. So we've tried to time our shows. Like there's been a few times I'm normally like on prep before Kenny because I've always got like more to lose, and like I always have to do a couple of like mini cuts throughout the year because I put on weight much easier than him. So we are kind of a wee bit different in that sense. But show wise, it's good to do it together because obviously it means we can like travel to the shows together and stuff like that, and it's really good.
You can share the experience.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm impressed that you stuck out that first bit together because that's kind of the honeymoon period, isn't it? That's when you get to know each other and you do stuff. And...
So she got to know all my bad bits before we did it.
She can put up with them. She can put up with anything.
And then like after his show, that was probably when like the honeymoon period started, I suppose.
Yeah, we enjoyed some food.
Yeah.
And then I think the next show after that was Body Power in 2018, and that was in the May. So we had a wee bit of time together, and then we prepped together. So that was really good because I think we enjoyed prepping together because we had that support. So that was why we decided to keep it going as well and always stay in sync, because having that support, especially in a place like this where nobody really knows what it's all about, and you know, your family will always support you, but they'll never fully understand the levels that you have to go to. So having each other for that is a massive positive.
Yeah.
And is there any negatives to prepping together?
I suppose like you get a bit snappier, like less. Kenny gets a bit less. Like,
I get a bit emotional when I get snapped at, so I get more hormonal, and I'm always like snappy at the best of times. So poor Hannah has to put up with it.
Kenny's like very can't handle hunger at all. Like he is probably one of the hungriest people like ever. Well, because I'm quite laid back with hunger. Like I can handle it quite well.
There's even an off season if I'm due to eat at say 10 o'clock and it gets to 10:10, I feel like I'm in the trenches and I feel like I'm running out of energy. I feel like I'm shrinking, so I have to eat.
Like I'll be trying to speak to him in the kitchen and he'll literally push me out of the way to get the plate and be like, "Excuse me, it's my meal time. Like move, please."
I'm the hungriest person ever. It's quite nice to talk to like a couple who've prepped together, because I've been single my whole competitive journey. Yeah, so I don't think I've even really dated while I've been on prep. So I get hangry, but no one else has to deal with it. When I lived with my parents, they did have to deal with it. I can remember crying one night because my mum threw my veg out.
Oh my God.
That's definitely worth crying over, to be fair, on prep. That's like a big deal.
Yeah, but I get proper hangry.
It must be a hard gainer thing.
Yeah. But I go quiet if I'm hungry. So if I'm out with friends on prep, I just, like you say, I almost feel like I'm shrinking because I just, all I can concentrate on is I'm hungry.
Yeah.
It does. It gets in your head, doesn't it?
The people at work know now that I will even go on calls and in meetings with my Tupperware. If it's mealtime, it's mealtime. Like, don't talk to me before I've eaten.
That's good though. That's your routine sorted then.
Yeah, they're used to me now.
Because like last year on prep, like I worked 9 to 5 as well, and I worked in a bank, and it was so tough because like we were so short staffed that like sometimes I was meant to have lunch at like 11 or 12, and I wouldn't get a lunch break till like 3:30. So I would be like walking about, like it was like 3 weeks out anyway, and I'd be like, I literally can't see. Like I can't see, I'm gonna pass out. Like this was like a daily thing, and I'd have to like talk myself into like walking upstairs, like, right, come on, you can do this, you can get up the stairs. Like it was really bad. So it would have been good if I had like set like understanding colleagues and stuff, but there was nothing that they could do. But it was quite tough.
Yeah, I think I've got there slowly because like I've been with the same company now for 5 years and I've prepped for 3.
Wow,
so
good.
And I've been in a similar team, so they're all quite used to me. At first, though, like you say, still now, if I'm in meetings all day, sometimes it gets to like 3 and I'm like, oh, I've had 1 meal today. Luckily, I'm in off season at the moment, so it doesn't really matter. But if I was in prep, it might be a different story.
Yeah, for sure.
It can be hard to like remember. Sometimes if I've got a busy day, like I'll need to like set alarms or something for like food, because when you're busy, you just don't think about it. You probably do because you're like really, you can't deal with hunger well, but I don't mind being hungry, so I can just crack on. And like before we started with Cuba, and when gyms were open, like I would just take on back-to-back clients for like 12 hours, and then I'd be like, oh my god, I've not eaten in like 12 hours, what the fuck am I doing? And Kenny'd be like, you need to be having gaps, and I'd be like, right, okay, I will. And then just
so I'd feel guilty. I'd be like stopping my client, but right, I'm taking this hour to go and eat, and Hannah's still working away. It was just, I don't know how she done it. I could never do that.
I think because I would just factor in like a 15-minute break, but then I'm so chatty that I would just like
Run
talk,
into it.
and then if I'm trying to eat and someone's talking to me, I'm like, I can't eat. Like, this is just weird. Do you know what I mean? Like, I need to be like alone, or like I can sit with Kenny and eat, or like, you know. But I just feel like if someone's standing there over you and I'm trying to get the conversation, and you're like, sorry, 2
You're
minutes,
spitting rice over them.
like, I don't know. I just didn't eat. So my meal timings last off season were ridiculous.
I think sometimes as well when you're in a rush, like I know sometimes I like literally shovel food in, like if I'm like in a meeting or
Yeah.
I've got like 10 minutes to eat, which is not ideal anyway.
I know. See, that was me. Obviously not now with Cuba, but I would just leave it because I would rather sit and enjoy my meal when I've got time. So I think that's what gets in my head, and then I just end up going like 10 hours with no food, and I'm like,
I find that when I'm in a rush and I'm trying to eat, a spoon works better because you can just spoon it and then
shovel it in. Yeah. I'm with you. I eat everything out of a bowl now.
I hate plates. I hate plates.
So do I.
I really don't like them. I think they're just.
I think that comes from eating through Tupperware a lot of the time.
I think like it's because I'm clumsy.
Yeah, like I feel like a plate's unsafe. I feel like I'm gonna
spill it all over me.
Whereas if it's got edges, I feel like quite safe. Sounds like a total loony.
I'm exactly the same. So if I've got a roast dinner or something, it's like the gravy is going to go all over the floor.
Yeah, and like if you put a plate in the microwave, like bits of chicken might fall off it. And I can't. My microwave's like up high, so I can't see in the microwave. Whereas if I got a bowl, I know it's all safe. I'm going to get all the food that I put in the bowl.
Unless it's oats. If you can't see those, that's unsafe.
I know. Well, I've got like specific bowls for like oats. I've got specific spoons. Like I'm ridiculous with plates and stuff. It needs to be certain ones.
Hannah does this disgusting thing, right? And nobody knows about it. Where
please
do now.
She's got her bowls, and let's say she is having something with tomato sauce, right? Instead of washing the bowl, she says, "Do not touch my bowl. Leave it on the worktop. I'm going to reuse that." Because she likes to lay it up.
No, it's not because I like to lay it up. It's because I have certain bowls for certain meals, and if it goes in like the dishwasher, I won't see it all day, and then I'll have to.
So Hannah will go a whole day using the same bowl rather than using different ones.
Please don't tell me you switch sweet and savoury in the same bowl.
Yeah.
She does.
No. Well,
you've used oats before.
Yeah, but I wouldn't eat oats and then eat like ketchup. It has to be the same type of meal. But it's not so bad now because like since going with Cuba, all my meals are different, so I can't really get off with doing that now. But before with Rob, like it was mostly the same foods. Like it would all be chicken, for example. So I was like, I'll just have that bowl for my next chicken meal, and then like I would have like 3 oatmeals throughout the day too. So I'd be like, I'll just have that for the next oatmeal, and then I'm such a minger.
She's conserving. Your water bill's going to be lower.
Exactly. But I suppose like since lockdown I've been a bit more like aware of like germs and stuff. So I've not really done that. Better clean.
Everyone else has started washing their hands, you've started washing your bowls.
Oh dear.
I love this. It's all coming out now. So last year, I know you did PCA London because I was actually sat in the audience and I saw you both on stage. Yeah. So is that your only show last year?
We did Two Bros 8 weeks before that, and we were meant to do the Two Bros finals, but that's when we started up crew, so we were like being really like worried about money, and we were like PCA London gives us more time as well because after the Two Bros show, it was just like I was so worried about not improving in 4 weeks.
Yeah, because it was quite a short space of time to make the improvements that we wanted, so we would have kind of looked more or less similar to what we'd already looked. But I really enjoyed Two Bros. That was, I think the show was on the Saturday, and I was supposed to be doing men's physique, but on the Tuesday before the show, Rob had says to me, right, let's go into classic because your legs are looking good. I was like, what? I was shitting myself. So I had like 4 or 5 days notice, and then I had to start trying to learn how to pose classic.
And you've got a routine as well, haven't you, with classic?
Yeah, so I had a routine. I had to learn different poses. So I was really excited though, because that was always my goal, to kind of try and work to getting out of the men's physique category. So I thought I would have been stressed, but I was actually really excited. And I'd done men's physique on the day. It was a big lineup. I came second, and then I came second in the overall. And then I'd done the classic, and I won my classic category. But I didn't think I was going to do very well, so I never entered into the open. So I'd only done the one classic category. But when I came off stage, I was absolutely, buzzing about it. I wanted to get my legs out, and that was the last ever men's physique show that I was doing. So I've decided I'm going to stick with the classic category. So with PCA, I don't like their version of classic because it's more like bodybuilding. They wear the trunks.
Yeah.
So I decided for the PCA London that I was going to do muscle model, and it was fun. It was a big lineup as well. I think I came second in that one, and I'd always been a little bit worried because with the two bros, with the classic physique, they put you in height categories. So I was up against guys my own height, which is, I always find a little bit fairer because your frame is more or less the same size. But then with the PCA London, I was up against guys that were like 6 foot. I'm only 5'6", and there was like guys up at 6'1", 6'2". So I thought, shit, they're gonna completely overshadow me because their frame is so much bigger. So I took a lot of confidence from coming second in that show, because then it just made the height thing totally irrelevant to me. Because when I'm watching a show, I sort of, if somebody's got a big frame, you sort of home in right on them straight away. So that was always a little doubt that I had in my head. And then when I done well with that muscle model category, I thought, right, I can put that to bed now. I can move on. I know that next year when I do the Two Bros show, I'm going to enter the open for the classic category as well. So I know that when I'm up against the guys at 6 foot, I don't need to worry because they're going to judge it on the proportions. So I took a lot from that. It was really good.
Yeah, I like the height categories because I'm the same. So when I did PCA, I was against girls. I think the tall class starts at 5'6".
Yeah.
And I'm 5'11". So it's like bikini girl, bikini girl, bikini girl, Holly.
Yeah.
Actually, as a tall person, I know you say like you look at them, but getting mass on a tall person is quite hard. So I'm against all these little pocket rockets, and I look like a string bean.
It's crazy how we look at it from the same view, yet it's so different, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's the good thing about Two Bros.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm like the average height, so I don't worry too much about height, but I can totally see where you are both coming from with that.
I get like a bit jealous though if someone's taller than me, because I'm so used to being like the tallest. If I get on stage and someone's taller than me, I'm like, hang on a minute.
I just feel so proud when I'm actually taller than somebody.
I know, like if I'm like, oh, we're the same height, Kenny. He's like, no,
I'm an inch taller.
I'm 5'6". You're 5'5.5". Like,
I'm 5'11.5". The half is very important.
That's crazy.
So, did you do bikini for both those as well, Hannah? Did you do Two Bros?
So, yeah, I did the junior bikini in Two Bros and the open bikini actually. But the standard was ridiculous. For me, I was like the best me ever, but I still looked a bit like off compared to like the other girls were just so lean. Like I can't even imagine I don't even know how I would even get my legs in like that. But it was good to see, like in the open category, I think I came like 5th out of like 7. But I have like photos of me up against like the top 4. And I think like one of them actually got like a pro card. So it was really, they were all such a high standard. Whereas at like PCA, it's like a kind of mix and stuff. So, whereas Two Bros, it was just so the standards. So I can kind of look back and see me against someone who's like a pro now. So it's good to have that lineup. but it was really scary. But the junior was really good. But that's kind of why I didn't want to carry on to the finals, because I knew that I wasn't going to do well, so there was no point in like spending all that money and staying on, like, whereas I could have given myself 8 weeks and had a chance more at PCA London.
Yeah.
So that's what my thought process was.
And Hannah was trying to get me to do the Two Bros final, but I just thought, you know, if I diet into that, then I'm going to have to sort of continue that for the remaining 4 weeks into the PCA London. And I knew as well, you know, that was great for me. It was good for my confidence getting that win for the classic there. But I knew that I've got a lot of work to do. So it would be good just to go away, work on it, and then come back for it next year when I know that I can actually do even better.
Yeah, I think when you know you've got improvements to make, it's almost like, let's just do it instead of like dragging out the season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
definitely.
You got to think about your body as well. You know, if you're dieting that hard for so long, you know, there's only so much that your body will take before it just starts rejecting it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do think it's good though that people put them in that Two Bros lineup. I think, like you said, Hannah, everyone finds it a little bit intimidating. I spent my whole prep stressed that I wasn't good enough for Two Bros.
Same here.
But actually, and I wasn't. Putting me in the open lineup, I'd probably come 5th out of 7, I think, as well. But it was such a good experience in the fact that I could compare myself to the top 3 and say, right, okay, I know exactly where I need to work on.
That's what it should always be about. It should always be about finding where you actually are so that you know what you have to do to get better.
Yeah, because I think like if I just shied away, then I still wouldn't know now. I would be like, well, I think that I need to improve this, but I don't actually really know. Whereas like now I've got clear photos of me next to the people that were winning, so I know exactly what the difference is. Do you know what I mean? So it's really good to look back on.
You can take it 2 ways. You can either take a defeatist attitude, or you can take it as fire and be like, right, okay, let's get to work.
I think you do learn more from, you know, when it's not a failure, but when you don't win, you learn a hell of a lot more from that than when you do win. Yeah. When you do win, you think, right, you'll get your feedback and then you'll work on it. But when you haven't won or you haven't placed, it's so much more valuable because then you can actually see what they're looking for and you know what where you have to be when you come back again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. So how was KHRU born then? So that happened last year, did you say?
Yeah, so like I said, I worked in a 9-to-5 job, and I ended up, like, I loved the job, and then I went for a promotion and I couldn't handle the new job. It was too stressful. So I got signed off work with stress 8 weeks out from Two Bros, and it was just like a downward spiral from there. Like, ended up like being too scared to even leave the house. Like, it was just, apart from to go to the gym, and like the gym and my house were like my safety areas, and then I just had a knock-on effect, and it was horrible. So when I was at the doctor's, they said to me to go away, like, go anywhere, just go away. And I was like,
get a break.
Yeah, not go away as in out of the room, like go away. And we were like, okay. And obviously, like, our wages were quite small, so we were like, right, let's just get the cheapest flight. And that ended up actually being to Ibiza. So 5 weeks out from Two Bros, we went to Ibiza, and obviously there's not even any, like, we were looking for chicken in the shops and there was none. It was just sandwiches and booze and crisps, and I was like, my god.
There was tuna. There was tins of tuna.
Oh yeah, tins of tuna. But I don't like tuna, so it was like, so we couldn't really do much at all, apart from obviously go to the gym and sunbathe, because everything was like partying, and we didn't want to show up at like Ocean Beach and be like, we'll just have a water, please, like, just getting the steps in. Like,
and that water would have cost you €12 as well. I've been.
Exactly. So we just sunbathed. We just kind of spoke about everything, and I was like, I think, like, I need out of this job, and I want to do something that we love to do. And obviously it made sense because we were so passionate about fitness and stuff, but it was just like so scared to like take the plunge. So when we came back from Ibiza, we hired a mindset coach, because especially me, like, just so limiting beliefs, and I was like, why would anybody take advice from me? Like, why would anybody listen? I'm only 20, like, I'm only 21, can't start a business at 21, like, just really negative. So we hired a mindset coach, and then like 4 weeks later, I think, we just quit our jobs and just started KHRU. and that's how it happened.
Because we'd kind of already, the crew was kind of on the go without it being crew. We'd sort of started a bit of online coaching, because we already had like PT qualifications and stuff. So started a bit of online coaching, offered it to people for free. And that had been, I think that was about 10 weeks in to have started that online coaching. And it was going really well. The people that we had were getting really good results. So we had thought, well, at least we know what we're doing with that. You know, we've taken normal people. This isn't bodybuilding clients or prep clients. This was just normal people who wanted to change their lifestyle, get a bit fitter, dream weight loss and a bit of muscle building. So it was going good, and we were really enjoying helping people. And Hannah, when we were in Ibiza, says, why don't we just go for this like full time, make this our careers, put everything into it? And we decided we'd do it, but we knew that it would take a long time to build up an online coaching business, especially with there being two of us. We'd have to, you know, have a mass amount of clients. So we knew that we would have to do PT as well. So we decided we'll ditch the job, we'll go and do full-time PT and grow our online client business. So that's when we decided we need to build a brand. We need to, you know, be known as something. It can't just be Kenny and Hannah, you know, fitness. So we thought we'll actually build a brand here that everybody's going to know about. So that's when we came up with Crew, and we started noticing the clients that we were getting. We started building like this little community thing. Because me and Hannah were together, it was nice because our clients were starting to meet when they were in the gym. It was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it just sort of snowballed for there, really. We got fully booked within about 5 weeks of joining DW as PTs. We were fully booked because we were going above and beyond, where all of the one-to-one clients were still making sure that they checked in. We were still, you know, helping them with their nutrition. And we weren't just looking at them and seeing them for the hour and then forgetting all about them. We were continuing to stay in touch and make sure that the other 23 hours of the day counted as well. And that's just how it started snowballing from there. And then the online part grew as well.
And obviously, like, it is the most rewarding job ever, because like I think when we've both spent most of our lives being really unhappy in our bodies, like that's obviously how we got into competing and stuff. So to get people away from feeling unhappy in the way they look and getting them comfortable in their own skin, it's just the best feeling ever. And I think when we started getting results with like one person and then they tell their friends, and you know, you've got that transformations and stuff, it just kind of
and the good thing with Inverness being a small area, you know, it's meant that we've grown really quite quick, because if anybody's looking for help now, we're like the first people to come to, because we've helped so many people already. So that's the massive bonus of being in such a small area. It's been really easy to get well known.
Yeah, because you're providing a service that other people aren't providing.
Exactly. Exactly. So all you have to do is look at what other people aren't doing and making sure that we do it.
And so it's grown really quite quickly, hasn't it?
Yeah, massively.
Yeah, so we started Crew like officially in September, and it's now, what month is it?
July. Yeah, October, November.
July. God.
So
yeah, and that's us about to open our gym. So
how did this one come about? Because this is really exciting.
Well, this one was we have to thank lockdown for this one, because when we sort of heard, we were supposed to go to Venice a couple of weeks before Corona happened, you know, and our holiday to Venice got cancelled. So we knew, right, this shit's really serious. We knew that the UK would end up going into lockdown as well. So we started trying to buy equipment and
panic buying.
And first of all, though, I'd asked DW, the club where we work at, if they would like give us a bar. I would hire a bar off them, a couple of plates. And they said no. So I was raging, really unhappy about that. For fucking hell, that's ridiculous. So we bought our own equipment, and when you buy one piece of equipment, it's really hard to stop. So
Tell me
what was
about
meant
it.
to be a barbell and a couple of plates turned into a couple of squat racks, a couple of 100 kilo of plates, a few benches, and it was all out in the garden under a big gazebo. So it was good. We had that to train from ourselves, and we were helping clients online through Zoom like this. And they were saying to us, God, you should really start your own gym when this is all finished. And we were thinking, we'll get like a garage conversion or something, have a couple of pieces of kit, have it like a little PT studio. But then, like the same mindset as buying the equipment, that little idea turns bigger and bigger and bigger. And then before you know it, we thought, well, fuck it, let's just go for a gym.
Let's
We've
just
both
buy
got-
a gym.
Yeah, we've both got that mindset of like, I don't know, just dreaming big, like with everything. Like,
And we kind of feed off of each other.
yeah. So
Like-
like if Kenny has an idea, I'm like, oh, but what if we make it bigger like this? And he's like, why don't we make it even bigger? And I'm like, okay. So that's just how that went. And then we were looking at units and stuff, and obviously everything was so slow because of lockdown. Like
We weren't
the
having
council and
much
stuff.
luck at all. It was really hard.
And then we found this unit that we were happy to take, but then it was joined onto like another one, and we just said to the landlord like, can we maybe take that one if you don't hear back from the guy that was interested? And he was like, okay.
So I literally phoned the landlord every single day for a week. Have you heard anything? Have you heard anything? And he was getting so fed up of us harassing him. He says, look, take it, have the other unit. So one unit turned into 2 units, and it means now that we've got a proper sized gym. So
Yeah.
it's just short of 4,000 square feet. So it's pretty big, and it means we can literally have it the way we want it, you know, like a mini Ultraflex.
So
Yeah.
was it a completely blank canvas, or has it been used as a gym before?
No, like we had to go through a change of use and all that, which also took ages, and that was really like quite stressful because the council are still on furlough. So we had to change it. I think it was like a shop
It used to
before.
be an embroidery factory for like clothing. So
One half was like the factory, and then one half was a shop. So one side is like really fancy, and then the other side is like pretty grotty. So we've had to try and like
balance it
Match
out a
the
little bit.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's getting there. It's getting there. It's only the little details to go now, and we're waiting on about, 8-10 pieces of kit coming, and then we're good to go. So that should all be here second week of August,
Yeah.
and then that's it. It's complete. So we just need the gyms to open in Scotland now.
Oh yeah, of course. So you'll be good to go and open mid-August.
Well, there's
Yeah.
still no word of when we're getting to open officially up here. I heard the other day that they're going to wait till the schools go back, which is the 11th of August, and then we'll have to wait 2 weeks on top of that to open the gyms. So it could be like 25th of August before we're even allowed to open the gyms back up here in Scotland.
I know, I was totally like watching everyone's Instagram stories and stuff yesterday in England, like
Jealous.
"Aw."
Oh, it's like Christmas for me yesterday. I've never been so excited.
But saying that, you know, taking the positive from the negative, it's going to be a great time to open a gym because everybody's going to be dying to get back to the gym, and where's been new, everybody's going to want a look, and it should be really good for business.
Mhm.
And again, you're providing something that the local area, I'm presuming, doesn't have. So I can imagine
Yeah.
it's all commercial gyms.
So like, yeah, we've got a Ballantyne's and a DW in Inverness, and that's all. So we used to travel to Glasgow every Sunday to use the hack squat. So like,
And how
3.5
far is that?
it's 3.5 hour drive there and 3.5 hour drive back.
Mad.
We just used to do it in one day. Like when we worked 9 till 5, that was how we spent every single weekend.
So we used to like schedule a leg day for every Sunday so that we could go and use the hack squat.
Yeah,
So it was it was a big day when we bought our own hack squat.
I know.
I
It's
can
crazy.
imagine. So is that in now?
Yeah,
So-
we've got that just now, and then we're getting a pendulum squat and stuff like that. So we've never had any equipment like that up here. So
at least
gonna be
our
so
gym
big.
will have equipment that none of the other gyms have got. So it's going to be really good for Inverness as well, and really good for our own training, because we've been having to stick to the basic movements and substitute things, and it's just been a bit of a pain in the arse really. So at least now we can have the equipment there that's going to even benefit our own training.
I can imagine it's been a huge learning curve as well, hasn't it? Because
Massive.
You don't have any experience of opening a gym, so it's all learning from scratch.
Learning through mistakes and learning, just through talking to people. And
that's kind of why we've been doing like weekly updates, like IGTVs on our crew Instagram, because if there's someone out there that's like opening a gym or thinking about it, might face the same kind of struggles that we faced, and it might just help somebody get an insight into what it's like to actually do it.
Little things like, where do you get mirrors for a gym? It's
the cost of the process.
Things like that you just take for granted when you walk into a gym. You just see mirrors there, but you don't think, right, where did they get them? What is the process for it? So we've literally had to learn everything from scratch. So it's been a really, really good process for us.
Yeah, even stuff like fitting out changing rooms and things like, there's so much to it.
Yeah, we didn't even really think about anything like that. Like the first unit we were going to take, like, didn't even have a toilet in it, and I was like, that's fine, like, do we really need a toilet? And he was like, yes, of course we need a toilet. And I was like, right, okay. But luckily the new kind of area that we got, the new unit's got like kitchen and toilet and all that fitted in already, so we don't need to get like that built in, which is good. But yeah, it's just been crazy, like, especially the amount of like manual labor that goes into it. Without, like, I've been useless because I can't even, like, Kenny be like, can you just unscrew that bolt? And I'd be like, yeah, sure. And I can't get it, and he's like, it doesn't matter, I'll just do it. And I'm like,
it's just like organising courier services to collect equipment, drop it off, just constantly chasing people all the time. And when it's not urgent to somebody else and it is urgent to you, you're constantly having to harass them all the time. So it's been a lot of on the phone and a lot of emails and just constantly making notes so that you're chasing stuff. So having that on top of trying to maintain the service that you already provide for your clients, that's been the biggest challenge.
Because we struggled with time before opening the gym. So, like, I don't know how we've kind of managed to, take on new clients, keep our service high, if not higher than it was, and do it on top, because our time management's not great.
It's not the best.
I was going to ask how you manage your time. How you stay organised and keep on top of your clients.
So we try, and our clients always come first, to be fair. So we try and like write routines out and stuff, but obviously with the gym opening, it's kind of thrown our routines, because like we'll get a phone call from like a delivery company being like, we're down at the gym, like, so we've started to kind of move all our work down there now, because it means that we can be there all day, and it saves the time of like traveling to and from. But just like planning, like we've got like a million whiteboards in our house, so we just plan everything. And
Cuba's orders were get lots of whiteboards, and that's what we've done. So we've got a wall full of whiteboards now. So it should be a lot better. We just have to keep writing everything down.
Because like if we've got a busy day, like our sleep will probably be like the last thing we prioritize, and then like our recovery and stuff will just be like, right, we'll just work right up until bed, and then we'll get up early and do this and that. And so that's kind of where Kuba's been like, no, you need to sort it out, kind of thing. But yeah, we've wrote like 10 routines like through lockdown, and we've not managed to.
It's just constantly changing all the time as well, that we're just having to kind of make sure that at least if one of us is dealing with the gym side of things, at least the other one is able to sort of keep on top of the clients. So we're having to kind of try and take it as it comes some days as well. But
I think just playing to like our strengths. So like Kenny's obviously better at the manual, like physical side of the gym, because I'm useless. Like I can't do anything. Whereas so that means I can do like the client work and the stuff that doesn't involve like lifting up machines and painting and stuff. Like I tried to help paint, and I sat
more of the floor.
Like I sat in the paint tray and then shuffled my arse over the floor. So there's paint on the floor now.
So Hannah's big arse mark is in the floor.
Yeah. So
trailing all the way back.
Hannah was here.
It's honestly like I am so useless, and like even with like general common sense things, like Kenny would be like, why would that come off there? And I'm like, I don't know. Why would it not? And like just little things like that. So I'm better at the like client work and the online work and our actual work rather than the physical side. So I think just having that helps the time management.
Definitely playing to your strengths is a massive
yeah.
one.
See, I've had a bit of a learning curve because I've bought my own place back in December last year.
Cool.
So I had to like be removal man and flat pack furniture builder and painter and all sorts. But it's quite fun. Like,
how many disasters have you had?
Not that many, actually.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the fun bit to kick in. I just feel useless and stressed when I try and help with the, like even painting and stuff. I'm like, I do not see the fun in this. This is so stressful.
I had a massive hissy fit the other day trying to do a flat back desk, the one I'm actually sat on now. It arrived and all the instructions were in German and all the pieces look the same.
Oh no.
Took me hours.
See, I would have just asked someone for help. Like, I would have actually just put that on Instagram and said, "Can anyone come over and help me?" Like, that's just, even just the thought of that, I wouldn't be able to. I think a lot of it comes down to like common sense. Like, I'll just look at that and be like, "Nah, there's no way."
So I've grown up with a dad who's very, very handy. Like, he's built conservatories and all sorts. So he'll like hand me a power tool and I'll be fine. Like, because I've grown up watching him and kind of helping. So I had a little bit of a head start.
Very jealous of that.
So in terms of client work, do you share clients then? Do you take them on as a team and work with them
together so that way we know what's going on with every single client?
So the way we do all our communication through like WhatsApp. So we'll be in like a group chat, like me, Kenny and the client. So it just means that they get like a response quicker, like whoever's
all their check-ins go to this group chat with me and Hannah as well, so that way we get back to it as soon as we can, and the client isn't left waiting. Yeah,
and then if Kenny's dealt with a check-in, like it means I can go back and look to see what's going on. Like if Kenny's not able to give me a briefing about the client, because we've obviously got so many that it's hard to sit and chat about every single one.
So at least when she goes back, she'll be able to see the changes that we've made, and everything's documented, so that way, you know, we know exactly what's going on with every client.
And like you say, then you've got a handle on everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And then like even when we were working in the gym doing PT, and obviously when we go back to doing like our wee bit of PT, we always like make sure we introduce each other to the clients, so that because obviously it's like part of the community, so everybody knows that they've got like Kenny and Hannah, not just Kenny or not just Hannah.
Yeah.
I don't know, some guys are a wee bit like, I don't think they like having me sometimes, because it's like a girl kind of
saying that Hannah's strength as a PT is pushing people. I don't know if you've seen.
I've seen the videos.
my stories, and she's over the top of me, screaming at me.
I know.
And she's really good at that with clients. So I've got a couple of guy clients who, you know, would happily take a PT session off Hannah because she'll push them. Whereas my strength as a PT is kind of trying to explain everything and, you know, tell them why they're doing it and look at the form and stuff. But Hannah's strength is definitely pushing them to get the best out of them. So a lot of the guys do like that.
I just like to show people like what they're capable of, like what you're saying earlier. Like when someone leaves a PT session being like, holy shit, I didn't realize I could do that. Like I feel good. I think
when you train with other people, like I've trained with a few other people, and then you think, okay, that's what hard work really looks like. I thought I was doing it properly.
Yeah, there's always a different level, but Kenny's better at like explaining. Like Kenny pushes people too, and I obviously do explain things, but I won't stand and chat about why unless like they ask. Do you know what I mean?
But so Hannah's strength is definitely pushing you, so I'm lucky. She pushes me with all my training.
we'll have it if Kenny like stops like and I think he's got another rep, I'll be like, I'll go in a right mood. I'll be like,
we have a big argument.
You had another rep there, and he's like, I fucking didn't. I'm fucking done. And I'm like, so yeah, that's kind of my strength.
And then I'll send it to Cuba, and he'll be like, no mate, don't go to failure on this. Leave a rep. So I'll play the voice recording back to Hannah.
See?
Told you.
I know.
Drill Sergeant Hannah.
I know. I love it though. I feel really empowered when I'm shouting at somebody. It's so weird.
I think it's really nice though, because I've noticed how much you've grown in confidence over the past few months, like watching stuff. So it's just nice to see.
I think just being like, obviously when you work like you do in like a job, you can't control your surroundings, whereas like now I'm in control of everybody that I talk to, which sounds silly, but like I'm really like, if someone's been negative around me, it'll have a massive impact on me. So like when you walk into like a 9 to 5 job, like where I worked, everybody hates their job. So like you're like, hey, how are you today? And then they'll be like, how do you think I am? I'm here again. And I'm like, right, okay, now I feel shit. Do you know what I mean? And it's just a knock-on effect of like bad moods.
And it kind of subconsciously gets you. The job I used to work in, I'd go in and be like, hey, how you doing? Surviving. It's like,
this is
surviving. What the fuck? You know,
same shit, different day. That
exactly.
Kind
of...
Or I'm overworked and underpaid. Do you know, they say all things like that, and I think I found that I was starting to fall into that moany category because these people were rubbing off on me, and
then when me and Kenny finished work, we would spend like, because obviously you, as you know, if you're working till like 6, then you've got the gym and then you've got bed, and then it's the same. So we would spend that little gap in between work and the gym complaining about work. And then in the morning when we should be spending time together, we'd also be complaining about how shit a day we've got ahead. So I think just removing yourself from the shit situations and away from like negative people has helped my confidence massively. And obviously stepping out of my comfort zone all the time, like, you know, you have to be positive and you have to be confident for your clients.
And I think as well, you know, when you're constantly moaning about something, you have to ask yourself, why have you not changed it? You know,
I honestly think this lockdown has done wonders.
Yeah, for sure.
For people reflecting, because I've actually decided that I don't want to work in corporate for the rest of my life. Podcast is about to come out today. I'm actually going back to college in September to do Access course. So I've always wanted to be a physiotherapist.
Excellent.
Holy shit, that's
so I am hoping to go back to uni next year, but it's the fear of doing it. So I've got a mortgage to pay, I've got myself to support. So I'm going to be working full time, studying, and then hopefully going off to uni next year.
It'll be so worth it in the long run though. Like, you'll look back in 2 years' time and be like, thank God I did that.
Was it lockdown that made you reflect on that and sort of decide to make a change?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it for a long time. I've actually applied twice before and haven't got in because I haven't got biology A-level. And I was throwing around a load of ideas, and so it's just made me go for it because I realised how stressed I've been, and I wasn't stressed at all in lockdown. Obviously it was a bit weird because I am quite a driven person, so having nothing to focus on was hard, but I just thought, I don't want to do this for the next 35 years. You know, I'm 28. I'll hopefully, I'll hopefully qualify when I'm 32, but I've still got another 33 years working.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. If you just look at your future and you just see like shit stuff, that's, you know, like if you just dread it, it's not the best feeling at all. And that's like loads of our clients have like left their jobs or they're planning on leaving their jobs just because sometimes you need to be taken away from a situation to see how shit it actually is.
Well, you're just running at 100 miles an hour, like you've probably found in your jobs. You make it through the 9 to 5, you go to the gym, you fit your meals in, and then you go to sleep, and then you start again. And it's you're on this like hamster wheel, and until you get off, you kind of go, no, this isn't.
You kind of wonder where you're going with it all. You kind of wonder why you're doing it, what you're going to get out of it, and the reward for that is very, very minimal compared to doing something that you actually want to do, because it's a lot of time to be unhappy. You know, it's really, really is. You've got to be happy all the time, and it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you get that happiness. I think that's all that counts.
And money really isn't everything. You know, I've got a good job. I'm in a very secure job. I've done quite well for myself considering my age. But, you know, money isn't everything.
It doesn't, because it's not just in the job. Like, you take that like feeling home with you as well. Like when me and Kenny were unhappy in our jobs, and when I was obviously signed off with stress and stuff, like it took over our whole relationship as well, because I was just a completely different person. So it's really important to love what you do and like actually get excited over it, rather than be like, right, I'll just get through this and then I can do something I like the gym, or I can go out with my friends or something, you know. Never
once through the whole of starting Crew did we ever even think about money. No. It was the first time in my life that I've went into something and never once thought about money at all. I thought, fuck that, I just want to be happy. I just want to be doing something that I enjoy. And when you're enjoying it, you become good at it. And then when you become good at it, money follows. You know, you don't have to try for it.
Yeah, because you end up providing a really good service because you're passionate about it. That rubs off on the people you work with, and then they want to work with you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because if you're not happy, even if you put on like a smile, you can still see that you're not happy. Like people can see it.
What are the future plans? Have you got, I can imagine there's another big goal, or are we focused on opening this gym and then see what happens?
So we always have like years planned out. Like we've got like a 5-year plan, we've got like a 10-year plan. But
Hannah loves to plan for the foreseeable till she can't see any further.
The other day, actually, I was like, I want to go on holiday. Like, everyone's going on holiday now. And Kenny was like, yeah, but we're just about to open the gym and that. And I was like, oh, let's just go away for Christmas. And then he was like, oh, yeah, that'll be good. And then, like, 2 minutes later, I was like, right, that's it. Holiday's good.
It's quietest time to go for us, because obviously between Christmas and New Year, clients, because we work with, like, general population clients,
the last thing they want to do is a check-in.
Yeah, so they want to relax it.
Yeah.
They want to spend the time with their family. They want to spend it with their friends. They don't want to feel restricted at all. So for us, in order to enjoy your holiday, not feel guilty about it, not feel like we're going to have to do hours of work every day, it's probably the best time for us to go away.
Yeah, because last year we went on holiday and we spent like a lot of time like with a towel over our laptop screens or over our phones, like trying to work.
And it was
and it was just like I don't really like Christmas that much, so I was like, yeah, let's just do it. And Kenny's like, so we're actually going, and I was like, yeah,
it was booked before we could even like finish talking about it.
It's actually happening. So yeah, I like to plan everything. So future plans, we want to obviously just keep providing the service that we do and keep improving it for our clients.
But we want to grow. We want to be in the position where we can be employing people, you know, basically just expanding as much as we can, really, and make Crew as big as possible, and you know, give other people the opportunities that we've created for ourselves. I think that's the ultimate goal, to have, you know, people that we're helping change their lives to the point where it's not just through fitness, providing jobs so that they are happy doing something that they love. So obviously that takes a wee bit of time. There's lots of things that we have to go through first, but that's kind of like the ultimate goal. And maybe to, you know, open another gym somewhere and stuff like that, so that we're starting to spread out. So just make Crew as big as possible.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's other parts of Scotland that could do with a decent gym.
Yeah. Definitely is.
Definitely is. So it'll be, that's like, we always think big, so dream big. So we'll see where we end up.
I'm going to finish on a game, because I'm going to let these lovely people go, because Kenny will start getting hungry with me soon.
Are you getting hungry just now?
I am, yeah. So I've asked them.
No, I've not eaten today, actually.
Have you not?
No.
Oh, I got 1 meal in before we started. So we're going to play a game of Mr. and Mrs. I thought it'd be quite a fun way to end, and this is going to be my first YouTube as well. So I'm going to open up the podcast onto a YouTube channel. So it might be quite a fun one to watch. And I haven't had any major bloopers, so I've got nothing to edit out.
That's good. I'm just trying to find a pen.
Share the pen.
No, we're not sharing a pen.
You need to write things at the same time.
First domestic coming.
Captured on video.
Right.
Right, so we're going to start. Kenny, I'm going to ask you a question. And you've got to answer what you think Hannah's going to answer. And Hannah, you're going to write down your answer.
Right. I'm actually really nervous for this. Right.
Okay. So who is Hannah's biggest Fitspo?
Okay.
You totally don't know. I can tell by your voice. You don't know. Do I even know this? Wait a minute.
I'm not going to say anything because I could telepathically feed her the answer that I want to give her here.
Just one person.
Just one person. Both write it down.
Do you have one person? Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. There's so many. Oh my god. This is difficult.
If I say in bodybuilding, will that help or not?
Yeah, they would be in bodybuilding, but they're so.
I've totally screwed up the spelling, I think, here, but
I think I know telepathically what you've written down.
I don't know how to spell the girl's name.
I know exactly who this is. So are we ready?
Wait, hang on. Right, I'm ready.
So what have you said, Kenny?
I've said Phoebe Hagen.
Okay, and who have you gone for?
I was torn between Phoebe Hagen, but I put Bic Bikini Pro. You know the girl.
What? You've never mentioned her to me.
I know who you mean, yeah.
No, the 18-year-old girl. I've spoke about her.
I don't know.
I don't know how to say her name.
She's like the youngest bikini pro or something, isn't she?
Oh,
yeah, she's cool. But that is a tough one because there's just like there's so many, and I actually always look at I always show Kenny figure girls. I'm like, oh my god, look at this girl.
Hannah is the best at figure poses. Seriously, you should see her lat spread.
But obviously, I don't actually want to do figure, but I find that so inspiring. So I'm always showing that to him. But there you go.
Hannah can pose like a bodybuilder. She is so good.
I love it.
She puts my lat spread to shame.
You'll have to teach me because I still can't lat spread.
Really?
Or it's shockingly bad. That's why I like two bros.
I know, you just cover it with your hair.
So, Kenny, what does Hannah find your most annoying habit?
Oh, right.
You have to get this one right.
Right.
Ready?
That's
What's
easy.
your answer?
Snoring.
Yeah, snoring.
Yeah, ting.
Ridiculous.
What's Hannah's proudest moment?
Proudest moment.
That's hard. Is it bad that I'm actually struggling with these questions about myself?
I'd be exactly the same. If someone asked me what my favourite colour or favourite film was, I'd be like,
I've got 5 favourite films.
My favourite's the last one I watched.
What is that? Yeah, I suppose.
I tend to flip.
Hannah's proudest moment. Is this a personal moment that involves Hannah?
Let's go with yes.
What other proud
Did you get proud of other people a lot?
I bet it has to be
her own personal proud moment.
so many actually. I walk down the street and I'll be like, Kenny, I'm so proud of myself. Walk down a busy street. Right.
You ready?
Right.
What we gone for, Kenny?
First time on stage.
Yeah, first time on stage.
Yes!
I was gonna write. Now, Hannah sometimes has this fear when she's out walking that she doesn't like putting her head up. And we live beside a big distributor road. And the other night she was so proud of herself because she walked up the distributor road with her head up.
Now, that was about a month ago. It's something I'm working on just now. But I think that comes with how good you feel in yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I used to walk around with my eyes down quite a lot, but
yeah. I think it's if you're feeling quite insecure and low in yourself, you'll always try and avoid eye contact and stuff. But yeah.
Okay, last one. Remember, this is Hannah's answer. Who wears the trousers?
Oh my god. Right.
Yeah, it's easy. That's
Kenny?
definitely Hannah.
I'm the
Yeah.
director, to be fair.
3 out of 4. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. I still don't really know who my Fitspo is, to be fair, so I suppose I'll give him that. Because I would, now that I'm reflecting, it is probably more like Phoebe Hagen or something.
Right, we're going to switch it now. So Hannah, you're answering what you think Kenny's
Right, I'll just scribble.
answer is.
Yeah. I know. Right. Okay.
So where does Kenny most want to travel to?
Ready?
Ready?
Ellie.
Yeah, Ellie.
Ting!
I'll get this. I'll probably be better at answering what your things are than my own.
I think you struggle to make up your mind with your answers.
I know.
Bit hard to guess, isn't it, when they don't know themselves?
I know.
So, who would Kenny like to meet celebrity-wise, dead or alive?
Oh, this is hard.
What's the hard one?
I'm going to put 2 options down. Okay. I've put 2 because I was a bit stuck.
Right.
What are we going for?
I've put Frank Zane or Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I actually put Sylvester Stallone, Rocky.
Never mentioned him before, to be fair. Apart
I
from saying,
have.
you've said I look like him.
No,
That's
no,
what you've said.
I've got the gym quotes and everything.
I suppose.
Last one. What is Kenny's guilty music pleasure?
Oh.
I'm in control of all the music all the time, so that's a
This is where he turns it around and he loves a bit of One Direction or something.
Shit, that's hard. He does like I'm gonna put.
I don't know if that's embarrassing, that one. That would be right.
I'm gonna write it, but it is like me that plays it, and he I can tell when he's enjoying it. Do you know what I mean?
He's like,
Nah, I've got to be honest with this one. I wouldn't let anybody else. Right.
You ready?
Yep.
What did you say, Hannah?
I've put Disney, Lion King, and Moana.
Oh
So
no.
if I'm playing that, he'll sing to that, but it's me that plays all the music. What did you
I
write?
forgot about that. There's Gary Cinnamon. Now I wouldn't
It's
really.
not embarrassing. He's good.
He's a bit embarrassing.
Is he?
Oh, yeah, I don't tell anybody I like him.
I don't think Jerry Cinnamon's embarrassing. Do you?
I'm just imagining you singing along to Moana now.
He does. He likes it.
The one that Rock does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes it acceptable.
I
then.
forgot about that. That does make sense.
That's good.
The Rock singing to his daughter the Moana songs makes me melt a little bit, I have to say.
Yeah, it's cute. It is cute. I like that.
Well, thank you
That's
so
got a really good voice.
He has. I'm surprised.
Oh.
I do like The Rock.
He's cool, isn't he?
Right, guys, well, we'll leave it there. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on.
Yeah.
I've had such a laugh.
Thank
good
you for
fun.
having us.
And it's been so lovely to talk to you.
Yeah.
You
Thank
too.
you so much for having us.
And we will see you at the Cuba meet.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.